Splendid, where I review Walt Disney World rides and attractions. Today I'm going to be reviewing the pride and joy of New Fantasyland, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. The Mine Train opened on May 28, 2014, and it was the first roller coaster to come to Walt Disney World since Expedition Everest in 2006. And it was the first roller coaster to come to the Magic Kingdom since Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in 1980. So it's been a long time coming, and it's kind of a big deal. I rode the ride in August of 2014 and again in July of 2016, and during that time, wait times didn't decrease at all. The ride is still consistently going at 120 plus minutes wait time. The ride follows the tradition of Peter Pan's flight and Snow White's scary adventures, and that it takes you through specific scenes from the film. In this case, the dwarves trip to, within, and from the jewel mine. The ride also offers a Disney first in that it has moving train cars, which means that each car moves on its own separate axis to sway back and forth. So let's talk about the ride. Let's start with the pros. One of the best things about this ride is that it's incredibly family friendly. I'm sure every kid who gets on this ride has seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and that adds a layer of accessibility right off the bat. This could be your kid's first big kid roller coaster. It's a step up from the Barnstormer, but it's not quite at the level of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad or Space Mountain yet, so it's a nice in-between ride that's good for the whole family. I could see people really making a lot of Disney first memories on this ride. And for that reason, I'm actually a little jealous that it didn't come out when I was a kid, because I probably would have loved it a lot more then. Another cool thing about this ride is that it's actually kind of two rides in one. You have the ride to the mine train, then it slows down and you get to look around a bit, and then you have the ride home. So you get two little mini experiences in one. The animatronics on this ride are amazing. They've really perfected this technology, and I've seen it in Haunted Mansion, Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, and this is really showcasing how far Disney has come with their facial animatronics. This stuff is beautiful. The animatronic faces were really cool to look at, and getting the chance to slow down and really take that all in was really impressive. Speaking of animatronics, at the end of the ride you get to see Snow White and the dwarves dancing in the house with the evil witch waiting outside. Turns out those animatronics were saved from Snow White's scary adventures. I had no idea. I was looking in the window thinking, wow, those are really great. So I guess they stand the test of time. One thing that this ride does that no other ride in the park does is take your picture twice. You get your picture taken coming down a hill and then again going around a corner. The other cool thing about this ride is that it's one of only two rides in all of Walt Disney World that takes video. So not only do you get those pictures of you coming down the hill and around the corner, you also get video of it. It's particularly helpful when you have groups of greater than 4, because then you're not trying to splice together pictures or ordering multiple photos. Instead, you can just have the video and catch all of you coming down the hill at the same time. I've also heard that the ride is more fun at night. I have no idea. I've never ridden it at night. But if you have, let me know in the comment section below, because I'm really curious to hear what it's like. And now for the bad stuff. This is a popular ride, and it shows. The wait time for this ride has not diminished in its 2 years of existence. The ride is consistently over 2 hours long to wait. Now, they do try to mitigate this somewhat by giving you a lot to do in the queue line. There's a lot of games to play and a lot of different things to do to try to keep yourself occupied, which is great because this ride is geared primarily towards children. The problem is most children really can't wait 2 hours, even if they are getting distracted by things. By the time you're done with this ride, you're going to have a kind of cranky kid on your hands. And when all is said and done and you've reached the end, the ride itself is actually pretty short. The official ride time is 2 minutes and 50 seconds, but if you ask anybody, it certainly doesn't feel like that, and I think that's because they break the ride up into 2 separate pieces. The ride-in is actually pretty exciting, and it's my favorite part of the ride, but once you hit the actual mine, even though you're impressed by the animatronics, it's still kind of boring for a roller coaster. And then on your way out of the mine, that part of the ride is actually pretty short. So maybe if that part itself were longer, the whole ride would feel like it was longer and worth it. Lastly, the swaying cars sound like they're pretty cool, but in actuality, they really don't add much to the ride. I couldn't feel it most of the time, and the few times that I did, it stopped pretty quickly, so I didn't even get the chance to appreciate it. I personally wouldn't mind it if the cars swayed even more, but I guess because they're marketing it towards kids, they don't want it to be too intense. This isn't Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. This is something a step below. So I have to keep reminding myself of that when I keep wanting bigger thrills. My overall impression is ride this ride when you're young. Now, I know that doesn't really help people like me who are already adults, but hear me out. The ride is really combining two really great things, roller coasters and good movies. I wish I'd had something like that as a kid. When you think about it, all of the roller coasters at Disney World are independent themes. This is the first roller coaster that actually follows a Disney film, and that's pretty great. If nothing else, it makes it a lot more accessible to kids and might get them on a roller coaster sooner. And as a roller coaster junkie, I'm up for anything that's going to get a kid on a roller coaster faster. Overall, I would give Seven Dwarfs Mine Train 6.5 out of 10 dwarves. And I say that because it's really not a ride for adults. Like I said, it's really meant for kids, so it's not going to up your thrill factor. I think the wait time really is what kills it. If the wait time were shorter, I'd be on this ride all the time. But I'm not going to wait 2 hours to ride this ride. If the wait time goes down to 40 minutes, I'll be on it every time. So have you ever waited in the standby line for this ride? If so, comment below and let me know what all the games are like. Also, random question, but I'm curious, do you think this ride is better than Barnstormer? Because when I rode Barnstormer for the first time as an adult, I actually found it to be a pretty thrilling ride. Probably more so than this one. So I'm just curious. If you like my review, feel free to subscribe. I put a new video out every Thursday. And leave a comment below letting me know what you'd like me to review next. And as always, check back every Thursday for another Magic and Moxie video.